Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
Today we are going to be talking about preparing your pets for travel. And we say that because how well they travel, it's really about how well have we prepared them to do that.
Yes.
We recently got back from our 6-week-long trip to California. Now, Theo is my dog. When we started RV travel in 2014, I'd had him about 2 months. He was a young adult dog, but he has made every trip with us, from the 3-nighters to the 4-week ones. And ever since I've had him, I've been doing his nails. But I've been doing it about once a month while we're at home because I walk him on concrete some, and that helps file him down some. So, knowing we were going to be gone 6 weeks and I had no guarantees of concrete, or it was probably going to be asphalt and stuff, I carried his clippers. To me, it was the same thing. I'm clipping his nails. We're doing RV travel. He's experienced those for the 8 years that I've had him. We were in after we'd been gone about 3 weeks, I get the clippers out, and
he freaked.
I mean, he was just completely freaked out by this. And so I thought, I need to, I knew immediately, I did not really get him ready for this, so I need to take a step back. Went and got some treats to, reintroduce the clippers to him and stuff. When he saw those nail clippers, he was so stressed he would not take treats, which lets me know, he's really stressed.
Truly stressed.
So I'm like, okay, I'll try this again in a couple of days. We'll have a fresh start.
Nope.
I tried it about 3 times, and honestly, it was just...
She couldn't put her dog through that.
No, I'm not going to break the trust he has in me just to... And the other thing is, as much as he was trying to pull and, he would... He's a good dog. I would tell him to stay, and he would, but then it was just that last-minute reflex of he just couldn't do it. And I thought, I'm going to clip too much. I'm going to,
Make him bleed.
I'm not going to do that. So, just to go on and finish that story, got home and then think, okay, we're going to do this like we've done it at home. Well, by then, he's like, this didn't happen. Got him to the vet, and... they clipped his nails, and I decided, okay, I'll start with a Dremel, which is something I really wanted to do in the first place. So, got him acclimated to the Dremel, and started having a little peanut butter pad, and it's really nothing but the lid to a
deli
meat thing where I can make little ridges, and you don't use much peanut butter at all, just enough to give them something to be occupied on. And had a dining room chair hold it. Then I got a camp chair. Then I did his nails on the back porch. I did his nails on the front porch. I took him out to the RV 3 or 4 times before we started on this trip.
She had me over there so that there'd be more people.
And so he's used he's used to having his nails done wherever, because I took the time to prepare him for that. And I'm sorry that was such a long setup, but that's what we're talking about doing here. So, Myleena's going to talk some about cats. She got Patches as a kitten and knew we were going to be traveling, and some of the things she did.
Patches was about 3 months old. Sharon had said, if you're going to take a cat and you want to, I understand that, but you need a potty trainer. Oh, how do you potty train a cat? And she said, I've looked.
But that way you don't have to carry a litter box in a small RV.
Yeah. There's something on Amazon called City Kitty. It's wonderful. For a little kitten, it worked perfectly. What it is, when you first start out, it fits over the toilet seat. It's a little...
Actually, over the toilet, you raise the seat. No, it fit over the toilet. You put the seat down on top of it. But anyway...
That's right.
Not the lid, but the seat. So they got used to standing on the seat.
It fit over the seat. You put the seat down, and it just had litter in it. So she'd get up, and she'd go, and she'd scratch like she's supposed to. And then after about 3 weeks, it had a tiny little hole in it. That was not so she could try and hit the hole. It was just to get her used to a little less stability on that ring. The hole eventually grew at 3 weeks between times.
And Mylena was using very expensive litter so that...
It wouldn't mess up my plumbing.
But she only had to buy litter for about 6 months.
I bought
Was it 6
3
months?
bags of very expensive, they were 5-pound bags. It lasted.
You still have some of them?
I still have some.
Now, but that's inconvenient. But the payoff is
Yes.
years down the line. We took a trip while Patches is in this training stage. There's one toilet in the RV, so when either of us had to go, we had to lift this out of the toilet, use the toilet, then put this
it
back on.
Yes.
But you know what? That was one trip.
And it was worth it because that little kitty uses the toilet now.
And she uses it at home or in the RV. And then another thing Mylena did to get her used to that was she kept that last
Yes.
ring because it makes the seat a little bit wider, gives her a little bit more confidence. And
When we traded RVs and when we moved, I used that ring to let her know this is where you go. And she never missed a beat.
And with the dogs, when we first got the fifth wheel and when we first got this one, I spent several nights in the RV, in the driveway, just getting the dogs used to the fact of this is where you're going to sleep, this is where your food is, this is where your water is. Let me get used to where they were. But that we did that while we're just sitting in a driveway. They got used to the fact that I'm going to put a leash on every time before I go outside a door. And it kind of gets them acclimated to the RV.
And with the cat, both in the fifth wheel and in the mini winnie, we let the kitten go out and just explore. When it was, she'd climb in little storage spaces. She'd just look everywhere to get her used to the RV.
But one important thing Mylena did, at the time I lived in Mansfield, Texas. Mylena lived in Burleson, which is a good 30 minutes
But I
apart.
was retired, which was a bonus. 3 times a week, I put Patches in a carrier, and I drove her to Mansfield. It got her used to being around the dogs.
It got her used to traveling in a crate. I mean, in
Yes.
a carrier. It got her used to, let the dogs see the cat and the cat see the dogs. And
It prepared her.
And if you're not traveling, if your dog's not used to riding in your vehicle, you can't expect a dog that's been living in your backyard for 2 years to suddenly get in a car and travel for hours and not freak out. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you acclimate them to car travel. And if that's going to be different when you're towing or when you're traveling, make sure... Because if you're running to the store or wherever, they may just run around wherever you have them. I don't know what your situation is. But if you're going to have them crated in some way as you travel towing, they need to get used to that. And so that is a very important thing.
Our first trip,
Oh, yeah.
it was 2 hours, 2.5.
2.5, yeah.
And we had the dogs in the back seat of a pickup.
Yeah, Abby, my 85-pound chocolate lab, who was the sweetest dog in the world, was still traveling with us. And, yeah, they took up the back seat, so Mylena had the crate with the cat in the front seat.
A little carrier. I was
Yeah, a
holding
little carrier. And Patcha sang, Theo sang.
Abby slept.
I think she's going a little bit deaf by then. We weren't.
No.
But for, about 2.5 hours, we were serenaded. But you know what? That's part of it. That's part of...
And it is a rarity that they go on for more than 2 minutes.
No, they don't even do that now. I mean, we put them in. Theo goes in the van. Theo's crate is in the back. He goes in first. Patches goes in front. Occasionally she'll hiss when we put her in there, but not always. They're not the best of friends, but you know what? They get it. We're all traveling together, and so they've gotten used to that. And so that's really the point of this video is we'd been doing this for 8 years, and it never crossed my mind to get him used to having his nails done in the RV. Pets do not generalize.
No.
Theo did not generalize having his nails done. And if you've ever tried to get your dog to sit or stay or whatever in a different place, you know that. They're not trying to be bad, it's just they're so much different. And so I've already done his nails on this trip successfully. And so
She did the right side.
yeah, we'll do the left side today, but we've just been gone 2 days. So
Yeah.
I mean it's not like they're growing out.
And the water situation. We start out with water from home for the pets.
We fill gallon jugs because it's the water they're used to.
After that, right now there's mule shoe water in the
Freshwater
tank. That'll be filtered when we give it to them.
Yeah, once we reach that point, and we're going to be putting more water in everywhere we go. So you can either filter the water for your pets, or you can buy gallon jugs of water if you want to. Another thing is, it's a good policy to carry their shot records with you because, you know, should something happen, and if you're traveling in a different time zone, then you know, your vet may be closed when you need to take yours to an emergency vet or something. And so having that shot record and stuff with you can be very helpful. And if you're going to cross a border anywhere, you're going to need, I mean, a border like now that we can't, to Canada, you would definitely need those things with you. But like I said, whatever your situation is, however, wherever you're going to be traveling, your setup, getting your pets used to that, acclimated to that before you leave, and anything that's going to happen, nails, getting them used to that before you leave is going to be a bonus. So, you know, this was something that it never crossed my mind that we weren't ready. But it happened to us, and so just thought we would remind you. We know many of you have been traveling with pets for years.
A lot longer than we have.
And some of you doing that full time. But for those who aren't and those who are just starting out doing this kind of stuff, just a reminder for us all. So if you can think of something different that we haven't added, and you always do obviously want to carry your pets on food, and especially if it's some kind of specific diet, you're going to want to make sure that you have plenty of that along with you. So, those are the things that we have been trying to do to acclimate our pets, prepare them for as successful of travel as we can.
And if you have other ideas, please leave them in the comments. We read every comment.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching
Two Tired Teachers.